Good morning, Plotty. I'm Chris Sternball.
And I'm Zach Seiko.
And it is Friday the 13th, and this is your Panther broadcast.
Our top stories this week are the effects that sports have on grades and the wrestling team.
And now we go over to Zach with his story on how sports affect grades.
I'm here with Athletic Director, Mr. Rick Diggs. Mr. Diggs, what kind of effect does sports have on students here at Pilati?
I think that kids that do well academically are going to do well whether they're involved in sports or whether they're not involved. If you want to do well, you're going to do well academically, you're going to do well on the field, on the court, or whatever. It's just that that's an inner thing that people have that they're not going to let themselves do poorly. It's a state of mind. If you're going to want to do well, you're going to do well, no matter what's involved, no matter what hurdles. If you're not doing well, I just don't think playing or not playing is going to have that much of an effect. There are cases where maybe it does, but I think there are very few. So I think we make a little bit too much out of this, how athletics affects grades, because I'm not sure that it does affect it all that much.
I'm here with Assistant Principal for Academics, Mr. Brendan Farley. Mr. Farley, what kind of effects does sports have on students here at Pilati?
Well, anytime kids play sports, they get the opportunity to show a different side of themselves, to express themselves in ways that they enjoy. But sports also gives the opportunity for kids to dedicate themselves to a craft. And anybody who does their job well in life kind of has some core components. They're going to work hard, they're going to focus, they're going to pay attention to details, they're going to listen to the people around them, they're going to try to get better at their job. And all of those things are also true of sports. So if you look at successful teams, you're going to find people who really cared about their sport, who on a daily basis were trying to get better, were listening to their coaches, were paying attention to the exact details. You can't just go out and play. You've got to actually play the way that you are supposed to play. And if you don't play that way, you'll either find yourself on the bench or you'll find yourself not winning games. And I think that attitude of doing something for a final purpose carries over to academics. Okay? So if someone is just sort of randomly sitting in class and randomly listening to something, they're not going to do well. They have to pay attention to the details of the class to be able to succeed on the tests.
Does playing sports have any negative effects on students?
It certainly can. It's almost student dependent because, I should actually put in a word for the students who play sports. They're often very tired because, for example, I know some kids on the swimming team who sometimes don't get home till 7 or 8 p.m. from meets. Then their hair's all wet and, they got that weird chlorine smell. And so they got to take a shower. And then they got to do homework. And it's like 9 p.m. before they've even started homework. Now, that's not an excuse because a lot of them still do their homework and still do great. But the students who are not disciplined and cannot manage their time well, sports can be very difficult for them to succeed in academics.
Thank you, Mr. Farley.
You got it.
I'm here with senior Richard Moyer. Tell me, Richard, what sports do you play?
I run cross country and I swim.
Okay. What effects do these sports have on your grades here at Pilati?
I'd say barely any at all, and maybe even a positive effect. I hear from some of my friends who don't do any sports at all that they're up to 1 to 2 in the morning doing homework, and I'm barely doing it till 10. And swimming, we don't get back till 7:30, and I'm still getting it done really quickly.
I'm here with senior wrestler Julian Villacres. So Julian, what perks are there for being a wrestler? Like, what are your own personal perks?
For me, it's to stay in shape and for, I would say, college recognition and for just to put it on my resume.
And now we go over to Peter Grenchek with his coverage of the wrestling team this season.
And tell me, what are your expectations for the team and for you personally?
Well, for the team, towards the end of the year, we get to MIAA's, states, and national preps, and that's individual. It has nothing to do with how well your team does. It depends on how well you do. So if you make it through those 3 tournaments, then you're the champion. But for me personally, it's just to have the best record I can over the year.
Thank you. I'm here with senior wrestler Goose and Toro. So tell me, Goose, we all know that you're winning everything, but can you please tell us what exactly you've won over the 3 years here?
Well, it's quite a list, but I've won Lackey. I placed at a tournament known as the Junior Olympics. I took second in the States. I won MIAAs, which is actually a really hard conference to place in. And I'm looking forward, and I took 10th at National Preps, one round away from being an All-American.
Thank you. And my last question is, what are your goals or expectations for you personally and for the team this season?
Well, I know as a team we want to get at least 5 placers in National Preps this year. For another goal, myself personally, I want to take at least 30 preps, take first in the state this year, and just have a better season. I want to get past 100 wins. I have 11 more than I have 100 wins, so,
Thank you.
And here are your announcements for today.
After school today from 2:30 to 3, the Pilates Dance Club will meet in the Sister Lucy lobby.
Everyone going on Kairos 36 needs to obtain their permission slip to Ms. Fodder. Also, when you're going to Kairos 36, you can be dressed down on Monday.
From now on, every Friday, the Shop Club will be collecting fresh fruit for the Elizabeth House. Volunteers are needed for the Christmas party at Sarah's house this Saturday. Volunteers can earn service hours from this.
Volunteers will meet at Pilates at 9 a.m. and will leave at 2 p.m. If you have any questions about this, please contact Ms. Fodder. From the Office of College Counseling, Rudy Garcia, Dylan Harris, Andrew Hercules, Josh Dean, Daniel Fitzgerald, and Kevin Holmes. Please see Ms. Martin as soon as possible.
Happy birthday wishes go out today to Richard Kern and Cameron Sullivan Brown. And on Saturday, happy birthday wishes go out to Rachel Bunger.
And on Sunday to Crystal Toyer, Marilyn Yamal, and Paul Wang. This concludes our Panther broadcast. Have a great day, Pilates.